Very good morning, students. In the previous class, we completed about a inclined plane. In that inclined plane also, one is moving up, one more is moving down on the rough inclined plane. Of course, smooth inclines are not there, right? And here coming to the point is, on the basis of a rough inclined plane, in our material there is a one problem is there, that I'll tell you. The problem will be from materials. Please open your materials. So which was given in the material, the problem will be yes, 97 page number 97. So the question number is 9. So once I want to tell you the problem, so the page number is 97, question number is 9. Question number is 9. Okay, I'll read the question. A block of mass 2 kg slide on the inclined plane. Inclined plane, it is sliding down, right? On inclined plane, that makes an angle 30 degree. The given is 30 degree, it is making an angle with the horizontal. The coefficient of friction between the block and the surface is, there will be a coefficient of friction given √3/2. And here first one is asking, what force should be applied to the block so that it move down without any acceleration? What force is to be applied? See, what force should be applied on the block so that it moves downward? See, first question, applied force is asking, already we know applied. In the second also is asking when it is sliding down, right? In the second also is asking same, find applied when sliding up. Of course we know the formulas. So just now we derived the both sliding up and sliding down. So for this case, see, shall I give directly the formula? Because F is equal to mg of, it is we can say like this, mu cos theta minus sin theta. Once you refer the previous notes, because there is an applied is there, that is when sliding down it is, there will be a force applied. So there will be a force applied, therefore the block is sliding down. That is the applied force, not a resultant. So that you say F is equal to m will be 2. See, of course G you take a 9.8. So you take as a G is 9.8 meter per second square. And mu is given as √3/2 cos 30 minus, here sin again you take 30 here. Therefore F is equal to, it is 2 into 9.8, or else you want to take a 10, also no problem. For the calculation very easy it is. Yes, of course you take a 10 also, no problem. So here it is √3/2 cos 30 also √3/2 minus cos sin 30 is 1/2. Here you do one thing, F is equal to, you take a 1/2 is common, 2 into 10, it is like this. So √3 into √3 becomes 3/2 minus 1, because only 1/2 is taken a common. Just 1/2 is taken a common. So that you cancel 2, it is 5, 3 minus 2/2. LCM you take, therefore it is, right, 10/2 into, it is 1. So the answer will be 5 newtons. Suppose if you take a 9.8, therefore we'll get the 4.9 approximately Newton it is. So when sliding down, the applied force. Suppose is asking second one, sliding up case is asking find a applied force, of course. So we know applied force is nothing but a directly you take mg of sin theta plus mu k cos theta. I told you in the previous class, applied and resultant will be the same for sliding up. So that applied force is, you write here, it is m is 2 g 10 sin 30 you write plus mu k √3/2 cos 30. Fine. Therefore applied will be, it is 2 into 10 sin 30 1/2 and √3/2 cos 30 is 1/2. You take a 1/2 is common, 2 into 10/2, it is 1 plus, of course it is √3/2, no? So that √3 into √3 will be 2. So 2 cancel, then applied will be 10 of 2 plus 3 by 2. So it is 2 5s. So applied force will be 5 into 5. It is 25 newtons. You take a 9.8, it may be, you may get the value is a 24.5. If you take a 9.8, 24.5 you'll get. So this is what the related to what, when the body is sliding down and sliding up on the rough inclined planes. Clear? This is the one question given in our material. See, on the basis of inclined planes question. Suppose you want to do the more problems in our material, in the additionals they are given. Yes, you can also do from that. So nothing will happen. See, for the more perfection, you go through the additional problems also. Then it is help you for the practice, for the calculation purpose, right? So this is the chapter is finished in case of a related to what it is, laws of motion. Laws of motion, of course, smooth incline is there. Smooth, it's not required because it is not there in our syllabus also. Smooth in the sense is there will be no frictional force is 0. So if you take a same expressions also there, you minimize the frictional force, will get the all expressions. Of course, you do one thing, in a rough inclined plane there will be a friction is there, no, that Fk. You want to calculate the smooth incline also, then there you do one thing, frictional force you put a 0. If k is equal to 0 you substitute, then you will get the all expressions. The same way, same, while sliding up and sliding down. In all cases, just you take Fk is equal to 0. So this is the chapter is finished. Clear? Now let us will move to the new chapter. The new chapter will be work, power, energy. Let us about a new chapter, that is will be work, energy or power. This is the new chapter, and from this chapter one LAQ will come. That is LAQ in the sense is 8 marks question. See, the Pakka will come because in this chapter we have 3 LAQs, so that you learn 3 LAQs, then one will come in the final examination. See, I'll tell you, before the LAQs we should know what is actually there in the work, power, energy. So this work, power, energy is again it is contains a 2 topics, like complete related to work, power, energy, and another one is there, that is work, power, energy is the one topic, and another one is there that is related to the collisions. Here we should know. Clear? Now I want to explain you before entering into the work, power, energy and as well as the collisions. Here I would like to discuss about a vectors, because already we know vectors. In that vector, see, we completed about a addition of vectors, and also we finished about a subtraction of vectors also. Addition in the sense is there we should add 2 vectors. By the addition, I must be added to I only, and the j must be added to j only, and k must be added to k only. Whereas the subtraction also same, I must be subtracted from I only, j must be subtracted from j only, k must be subtracted from k only. These are the relations which is related to addition and subtractions. Now let us other one is there. Sir, what about products? Of course, the products are related to, in here there are 2 products are there, that we can say a product of vectors. In this this actually the products we have to In work power energy, we will discuss only one product, and another product again we will discuss in the next chapter. See, there are two types of products are there that I will tell you. First, product of vectors. Product of vectors. There are two types of product of vectors are there. One we can say dot product, or we can also call scalar product. And second you take vector product, or we can also call cross product. See, dot in the sense is symbol is dot you say, and cross in the sense is it is like a multiplication symbol. Sir, what are the differences there? I'll tell you, both are the products only, but there are some properties are there. See, the multiplication properties, dot and cross are the both related to only multiplication, but in this we have some properties how we can take the multiplication. So that properties we have to learn. Here in this work power energy we will only discuss, or we have only dot product. This product is there in the next chapter, that is the system of particles and rotational motion. That is the 7th chapter. There actually in that chapter we will we have this concept, so that you leave this concept here right away, it is not required. Let us will move to the now. In case of a dot product, right? Sir, what is actually mean by dot product? Here I will explain you one dot product. Suppose you say you take a like this at a pointer. See, there are two vectors. P is a vector and as well as the Q is another vector. So which are acting at an angle theta. So the P and Q are the two vectors which are acting at an angle theta at a point O. Therefore, the dot product of any two vectors, you remember, dot product of any two vectors, dot product of P and Q. See, always it is gives the product of any two vectors. Which one? Dot product of any two vector is gives a scalar. It is a very important. You take the dot product of any two vectors. Suppose force is a vector and displacement is a vector. Suppose you take these two products, therefore that represented as a scalar. Suppose force is a vector and velocity is a vector. Suppose you take these two products, therefore that gives a scalar. Like that, the dot product of any two vectors. You take any two vectors. If you multiply that, which multiplication it is? Dot multiplication. So that the resultant will give the scalar. That is the conclusion here. Therefore, now let us will see the statement. See, when dot product of any two vectors, statement will be dot product of any two vectors is equal to, clear? The dot product of any two vectors is equal to the product of magnitude of the two vectors. Product of magnitude of the two vectors, that is a P and Q, because P and Q are the two vectors. So the dot product of any two vectors is equal to the product of magnitude of the two vectors, and the angle between the two vector is cosine angle, or we can call cos angle. Cos angle between the two vectors. That's what P dot Q is equal to magnitude of P, magnitude of Q, and the angle between the two vector is cos angle. This is the statement related to dot product. Now coming to the point. Here it is. See, suppose sometimes he may ask you angle between the vectors. You write here angle between the P and Q. Yes, you take from here cos theta is equal to, this is the P dot Q by magnitude of P and magnitude of Q. This is the angle between the two vectors. Now coming to the point is in this only again. Suppose sometimes he may ask you like this, like here the component of P, that is now the P is the vector, Q is the vector, actually angle between the two vector is theta. Now he is asking component of P along Q is asking, that is the component. Now P can be resolved into two components, that we can say P cos theta along the Q. Is asking what component of a P along a Q will be is equal to, say we can take like this, it is the P cos theta. See, from this expression you look at here, P dot Q is equal to magnitude of P, magnitude of Q cos theta. Therefore, P cos theta is equal to, because the component of P cos theta, no, therefore P dot Q by magnitude of Q. Here you write, instead of P cos theta we can also take like this, P dot Q by magnitude of Q. This is component of a P along a Q. In the same way, is also asking find a component of a second, it is component of Q along P is asking. That is what now Q can be resolved into two components. Therefore, you say it is the Q is here it is right like this. Q is along P, that is Q cos theta, because it is resolved into two components. Therefore, which is equal to Q cos theta. Of course, you take again P dot Q is equal to magnitude of P magnitude of Q cos theta. Is asking Q cos theta, no? Yes, Q cos theta is equal to P dot Q by magnitude of P. Here you write, you replace this, that is equal to, we can write like this, P vector dot Q vector by magnitude of P. So these are the information related to what? The components along a Q as well as the component along a P, or the like this. And here, sir, what are examples related to dot product? See, very simple. Dot product of any two vector is a scalar. This is the very important. Dot product of any two vector is a scalar, because we can also call as a scalar product, no? So that you take an example. Suppose just now I told you F dot S. Here F is the force, it is a vector. Displacement also vector. The product of these two which gives the scalar is represented as the work. See, the example is, we can say work is the best example related to dot product. That's what in this chapter now we are discussing about a work. And go for the second example. Suppose force dot velocity, because force is a vector and as well as the velocity also vector. The dot product of force and the velocities gives the scalar is represented as the power. Yes, this is the work power. Energy is nothing but a work or in the different form of energies. And third example also I'll give you. There is a magnetic field and it is a area vector. So the dot product of magnetic field, B is the magnetic field, A is the area vector, which gives a scalar. The scalar is represented as the flux. It is a second here, it is there, Flux is the flux. It is a magnetic flux. Suppose you want to say another example, electrical field dot area. Again it is get the same flux, but in case of this electric flux we can call, in case of this it is a magnetic flux we can say. So like this we have examples related to dot product. We have another examples also, but it is not required right away, because we are only discussing work, power, energy. So work we know, power we know. We'll see in detail. Before that, see, the properties also very important, I told you, right? So what are the properties are there in this dot product properties? See, the multiplication, how we take a multiplication by using this. I'll tell you the properties of these products. You remember here it is generally, it obeys the commutative law. In general, addition also I told you related to this commutative law. So the properties is a first property. It obeys the commutative law, that is P and Q are the two vectors. P and Q are the two vectors. It obeys the commutative law. Sir, what is commutative law? That is actually in addition, it is like we can take. It is in case of addition. Sir, what about in multiplication? Of course, P dot Q is equal to Q dot P. It is obeys the commutative law. It obeys the commutative law. Clear? And second, you take a P vector, Q vector, R vector. Three are the P, Q are the three vectors. It obeys the associative law. Sir, what is associative law? P dot Q dot R is equal to, that is P dot Q within the bracket R. Here P dot within the bracket Q dot R is equal to P dot Q dot R. Suppose you multiply this, you will get the one answer. Of course, you multiply this, we will get the one answer. These two answers are equal. Here also same. P dot Q is equal to Q dot P. That is, if you take a multiplication, this will get the one answer, and which is equal to this answer. And third one, that is the distributive law. Again, you take P vector, Q vector, and R vector, which are three vectors. Therefore, here a distributive law is nothing but a P dot Q plus R is equal to P dot Q plus P dot R. Here also same. See, you add these two and multiply with this. Then here is equal to what happens? You multiply with these two and you multiply with these two, then we'll get the same answer. Whatever the answer we are getting here, this answer represented also same. Like this, it is always a commutative, associative, distributive law. And coming to the next property, that is about a fourth one. If P and Q are parallel, is a parallel in the sense is P vector and Q vector. The angle between the vector is 0. P and Q are the two vectors which are parallel to each other. So that you say P dot Q is equal to, it is magnitude of P and magnitude of Q cos 0. So that P dot Q is equal to cos 0 is nothing but a 1. Yes. This is the next property. You go for the next one. If P, Q or anti-parallel, you say anti-parallel. That means here both are in the opposite, P vector and Q vector. There will be an angle is 180. So for 180 what happens? Here you write P dot Q is equal to magnitude of P, magnitude of Q cos 180. So cos 180 will be minus 1. So P dot Q is equal to minus of magnitude minus of P. And let us go for the sixth one, that is if two vectors are perpendicular, that is P vector and Q vector. Of course, there will be angle is 90. So P dot Q is equal to magnitude of P, magnitude of Q cos 90. Yeah, it is 0 no? Therefore you take as like this. This is what it is, the sixth property. And you go for the seventh property, that is if I, J, K are the three unit vectors. These are the unit vectors. See, if I take a multiplication, that is I dot I is equal to J dot J is equal to K dot K. You remember, here also we should multiply with I only, J only, K only. It represented as 1. This is the multiplication. And coming to the, suppose if I take a opposite I dot J dot K and K dot I, it may is equal to 0. That's what you don't multiply. You don't take a multiplication with opposites, because we'll get the 0. However, we'll get the 0. If you take a same multiplication, yes, it is represented as 1. If you take a opposite, will represent it as 0. That's what I mean to say, which is very, very important. Because if you go with like this, therefore we'll get the 1. And if you go with the opposite multiplication, therefore it is give as 0. Right? So here last one I will tell you, that is the multiplication will be like this. If P is equal to, you take as a Pxi cap, Py j cap and Pz k cap, and here Q is equal to Qxi cap and Qy j cap and Qz k cap. Now you multiply, that is dot product you take, very simple, P dot Q which is equal to, yes, now we should write here both Pxi cap and Py j cap and Pz k cap dot. Clear? And you take a next one, that is Qxi cap, Qy j cap and Qz k cap. Now you multiply same nature, that is I dot I will be 1, so that you say Px Qx plus I dot j 0, I dot k 0, not required, j dot I 0, j dot j is equal to 1, so that Py Qy, it is a multiplication, k dot I 0, k dot j 0, therefore k dot k is equal to 1, Pz Qz. See, by this product I will tell you, the conclusion will be, see, if you multiply with the same I dot I, yes, it is 1. If you take a opposite nature, therefore we'll get the 0. That's what you don't take a opposites. So this is all related to what? The properties related to the dot product. On this basis, in this chapter we have a number of applications based on the dot product, that is work, power, energy, right? So that will continue in the next classes on the basis of this dot product. We'll see in the next classes. Thank you very much.